which is like a
Yeah.
hardcover. But I could get 4 trade paperback volumes, and it has all the comics. So I might just do that just to have it, and then I
Oh,
have
okay.
everything. So I'm like, oh yeah, I collected everything. Not in the format I wanted to, but I have everything. And then I'm gonna start reading it, and then
Start
I'm
buying
gonna
it.
fucking sell everything I don't like. I want to collect all the side X-Men teams and shit like that, but they didn't come out with all the omnibuses yet, and who knows?
Good day.
But fucking yeah. I just want to fucking. Soon as I collect that shit, then yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit happier. Cause right now I'm just going through all the shit I didn't read, and I'm just trying to read it. And if I like it, I'm gonna sell. Oh, if I don't like it, I'm gonna sell it.
I would still keep it. Fuck it. At least then you can say you have it.
Yeah, I done that. Like one thing I was going to sell was a Sandman, and then when the show came out, for some reason I liked the comic books more. Like I appreciated what I read more, so I was just like, that show made me like the comic books more. So I'm just like, all right, I want to keep the
Oh,
comic books. So while reading it, it was just kind of like, I could get rid of this. I could get rid of this, but shut up, fucking dogs. Fuck you.
well, someone's either home. Oh, I hope it's Luke. Otherwise, he's have a bad fucking day. Oh my god, fucking dog. Oh, yeah, but fuck. Yeah, that's something to do.
Yeah, I have a lot of collections I want, but it's just like I'm trying to let my hobby pay for itself, like selling all the shit I don't want anymore and buying the shit I do want.
Man, that's it's crazy. Me and my cousin were talking about that today. About how try to have like figure out a way to have our designer toy. You know, the toy hobby we have, collector hobby.
Yeah,
Try try to pay for itself so we can buy like the bigger, better, like rare stuff. But like, problem is the market's so fucking saturated with scalpers that nobody, you don't have the fucking money or the time.
no, I agree because it's the same thing with comic books where I have like a Facebook group and I try to talk to people about like certain things like when to sell and all that because I feel like a certain people got the know of what's coming out and what's not. So I'm just like, yo, how do I know when to sell? Because I want an omnibus, like I want the thick hardcover. So when should I trade, like sell my trade paperbacks? And they're just like, listen, and it really is because even when I was collecting regularly the floppies,
Yeah.
it's all about timing and choice. So it was just kind of like,
Well, also too, I mean, they can be like, oh, this such and such series, this such and such comic is going to be big right now because the movie's coming out or the new run of toys or some shit like that. But then it fucking bombs, and now,
and then the price goes down.
yeah, and you lose your fucking shit. You know, it's
Like, I was asking when I first started collecting the omnibuses, I didn't know about like reprints, right? Like how it could be a while, but
Yeah.
omnibuses like whoever has it, Marvel, Disney, they reprint it. So I started asking people like, "Hey, should I buy this for this much because somebody's selling it for $300 and it's $150 comic book thing?"
Yeah.
Somebody told me it's like I never pray over cover price. He said, "Wait, they always reprint it." So when I started doing that, I noticed that even with the X Men, the first two, when it came out, like with the first two omnibuses were all the '60s comics. That was out of print for a long time, and
Oh,
I really wanted it, and people were selling it for like fucking 600 for both of them and all that. And then when somebody told me that, like, listen, they're gonna reprint it. Don't worry, like, relax and just wait. It's gonna take a while, but you'll get it. And now I got it, and I got websites, three websites that always go under the cover price. Is always like 40 or something like that percent off.
yeah.
So I could get $150 comic for $60.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm just like, all right, I go to these fucking websites and I buy them because you could pre-order them and all that for way less than what the cover price is. So now I just wait for shit. And if I can't wait for shit, because some people say like omnibuses reprint, but hardcovers don't. It's like a weird fucking thing. I'm just like,
Yeah, but
listen,
if you
and
can get in early and get these things for a good price, I would buy like two and sell them.
that's the thing. That's what people do. But I think I had a conversation with somebody where it was just like, this is the problem because people want that payday. So you have real collectors that just want the collection for
Yeah.
themselves, and then you have people who just want money. So they'll buy three or four fucking comics that they know people want. They'll hold
Oh,
on,
fucking yeah. Scalpers. Fuck it. I hate them.
and then they sell it way overpriced. And then collectors like myself want the fucking shit, so now they got to debate: do I want to pay over? And that's how they get their money. And I was like, you know what? That's fucked. And I get it. Like, you can't complain. That's how people get their money. But it's
Yeah.
still like, yo, that's fucked, man. Because I'm just a guy that just wants this
Well,
as a collection because I like this. It's not about money to me. It's like I like this. I don't grab comics to think one day this is going to be worth something. It's like, no, I grab it because I want to fucking read it. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, with the fucking figures and the toys. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
need the box stuff. I can give two fucking shits about if they're in the box or not because they're going to get opened. They're going to get displayed. And
Yeah.
yes, every once in a while, I do sit there and I fucking transform a transformer every once in a while because fuck it, you know. This world's so fucking fucked. Why not sit down and be a kid again?
Yeah.
But
But that's the thing that pisses me off because, like I said, everyone just wants money. I just want the fucking collection. That's why I said when I'm done with the two major teams of X-Men, then I'll be happy, and then everything else is just a side note to me. Every other collection.
then you're gonna wall off that room and then start the next one.
Yeah. Shit. But I don't know. It's just to me. It's just I don't know.
Oh shit! Did Jen actually go out?
I think she went out. I just put on the thing like be safe because I know she likes to fucking drink and drive. So and she's a fucking maniac with that shit. I haven't hung out with her in a while. Well, I haven't hung out with Chris in a while because the last 2 weekends we were both busy. But
Yeah.
Jen, I don't know. She sometimes used to come over on a weekday and just fucking vent to me, but I don't know. Maybe she has some shit going on, which is good. Which is good. But she's just I don't want to go out. I didn't want to go out today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel a lot safer in my home.
Yeah, what time is it? It's 12:23. Not too late.
What, yeah, up early tomorrow, old man? Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop,
Did
boop.
you see the fucking new, yeah, you did, because Andrew posted it. The new Turtles fucking animated movie coming out?
The trailer, yeah.
I fucking hope it fucking comes. It looks terrible.
It does. It does. It's just like I'm gonna see if I can bring up that guy. Hold on, that on YouTube today. He talked about the April O'Neil, and then he had because the April O'Neil's black again, but he said he's a black guy, so he said like, hey, like his whole title was black and fat, like of course, kind of shit, right? So when you listen to his podcast, he hates tokenizing. He's like, don't make a character black that's not black. Just make a good black character. You know what I'm saying? Like he's all about good comics and good storytelling for that matter. But let me just see if I can find him real quick talking about that. But he had an actual. He brings on people that debate him on Twitter,
Yeah,
and he brings them on the live. Like he'll live stream it because he has a big following now, and he'll live stream it, and he will say like, um, what do you call it? He'll live stream it and debate him. Every debate I seen with him, like the people really don't know what they're talking about, but
let people go.
he said like he'll show his tweets and then the guy's tweets, and he said like, all right, when it came to the April O'Neil, right? Everyone's saying she was originally black. He's like, no, she never was black in the comic
She was
books
never
or
black.
whatever. And they always bring up that one comic book cover where she has a perm, and he explained, and this is a black guy, mind you. I'm going to show you in a second. He explains white women had perms in the 80s. The comic books came out in the 80s. He was like, so that cover, like, and he related it to Cher. And he was like, Cher had a perm. Cher's a white lady. You never call a Cher a fucking black girl. So they said, he's like, it's not the problem that she's black now, but you're forcing the like you're making her a fat black nerd in the new trailer. And he was just like, why does she have to be fat? Why does she have to be black? And why does she have to be a nerd to be April O'Neil? Let April O'Neil be the fucking white ginger and make a cool black character that everyone wants to like and all that
Isn't
shit.
Johnny fucking female turtle too?
What?
Isn't one of the turtles female too?
Wait, Ninja Turtles being
Yeah,
female?
yeah.
Um,
In the new one.
in the comic books, they had well,
Well, I
in
know in the
art,
comic there is a female turtle, the fifth one.
yeah, there's a fifth character that's a female, and now with the Last Ronin, comic book series, which is like a alternate future where it's only Michelangelo that survived.
Yeah.
At the end of the comic book, they show April O'Neil and her daughter with four other turtles. So now they're making a new series with those four younger turtles, and two of them are girls and two of them are boys. And only in our lifetime, we had the one from the comic book and then the one from the TV show.
Oh yeah, terrible fucking show.
Yeah. but I'm gonna show you. This is the guy. His name is Eric July, but his whole thing he made a whole comic book series. Like I'm telling you, he became a millionaire just making his own comic book series, being a YouTube guy.
All right. Still here in the office. Sorry about that. You know, the other PC is still getting rebuilt, and yeah, it's taking a little longer than what I anticipated. With that being said, we have a couple of things we're going to be discussing today. This is more of a variety. Let's call it. We're going to have people's followers obviously getting internet. Stuff happens. Nonetheless, a stupid person said something stupid. The Rippaverse got involved. And this is hilarious. I don't know if this guy woke up from a coma, but check this guy out right here. He says, can't wait for this dude to get hit by a class action lawsuit. Now, again, this is coming from this whole April O'Neil situation. We're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Rippaverse is his
for having millions of dollars donated to him to write a comic he'll never finish.
He finished the first comic already.
Again, maybe he woke up from a coma. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But as I had mentioned, dude, you're about 6 months late. I don't know, a while now. ISOM 1's campaign has long been fulfilled. We're working on it. ISOM 2 is pretty much finished. We're just getting in the warehouse to get ready so we can get them printed and start the campaign. But, you know, we've moved on from that. You can still get ISOM 1, of course, at rippaverse.com if that's your thing. But as far as the campaign, they weren't donos. They were pre-orders, and they've all been fulfilled. So you're going to be waiting forever.
I'm going to go live again.
I know you can't wait, but this is what it is, right? These people want... they see people doing well, and you know they try to conjure up stuff in their own mind to present people in these negative lights because they want everything stripped from them, livelihoods and so forth, which is how they justify all of their bad behavior. It's like, well, you had it coming, you are a bad person, therefore anything that I say, even if it's wrong, it's justified. With that being said, we've already done that. It's funny. Care of our books, by the way. Same Screen Rant article. I keep sharing. Another point. Nobody was scammed. Sorry, get over it. But let's talk about this, because the other part of the video, or the other side of the video, I really want to discuss is why people just somehow forget the whole decade of the 80s. I touched on it a little bit in my videos debunking the myth that April O'Neil was originally black. And of course, these guys keep sharing the same Screen Rant article, same, which misquotes, by the way, same Screen Rant article and all that, to perpetuate this lie that wasn't even a myth for 20 years until, you know, someone brought it up, and now all of a sudden it's a thing that's happened. Now you go again, watch those videos where I talked about that, one where I did a deep dive on that if you want that information. But what I won't allow people to do is, what they're trying to do is gaslight people and act like people with permed out curly hair was just not a thing in the 80s, and that somehow meant that the April O'Neil was black because, well, she's depicted as having darker hair, even though she only gets the hair that she has, darker curly hair, because, well, she got a new dude, which she specifically talks about in issue 4, and she has that for a little bit, and then it goes away. But it's the 80s, man. We're talking about the mid 80s at that. And when this was first kind of conceptualized, going into the 84, 85, 86, and of course and beyond, white women wore perms. And this guy asked me to, he said, find me a white woman depicted this way in comics. And it's hilarious because I did them one better. I showed examples of this as well. You could see, share, everybody, I mean, everybody's hair was like that. I mean, it's just how it was. You go look at your parents' yearbooks, if they had one, or go look at your parents' pictures, and you will see that that's exactly the case. With that, also, you had people bringing this up, showing other pictures of all these people that had these perms as well throughout the 80s. They're acting like the Contra of, this is the arcade joint, you know, of Contra. Dog, like, it was a thing. Like, you can't gaslight us in acting like this didn't happen. Like, this whole decade wasn't a thing. And that somehow, just because she appeared in a comic book and had puffy, curly hair, big hair often, she's black. Like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? You cannot gaslight us into acting like the whole deal didn't exist. But as I mentioned in my post, like, dude, look at the entire 80s and you look at some of the like even the Marvel and DC comics. Of course, those are colored, so it's not gonna look like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic did. But look at all of them. Go look at the old Wonder Woman
You see
comics
when
and how she had her big curly puffy hair through the 80s. Go look at She-Hulk, right? When she's She-Hulk, big curly puffy hair. Tony Stark himself had curly permed out mullet in the 80s, dude. This was just a thing that happened. Rogue's iconic look was the big puffy hair. Like, I don't know why these people are acting. This is the thing about this conversation and many others around it, is that these people like to think that we all fell off the turnip truck and like we can't, number one, look the stuff up ourselves, or in the case of a lot of y'all, you lived through the decade this stuff was created in. Like they're trying to gaslight people and act like the history just started up and now, and then they only try to point to references and don't even do it like in context. The 80s was an interesting decade. Some of you lived through it. And people, including white women, had big puffy hair. Those are the facts. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate. Step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, Eric D. July.
So what I'm trying to show on here is this guy talk about April O'Neil and April O'Neil not being originally black. I just want to find the other video that he had where he talks about that's the one I just showed. He had like another two about April O'Neil. But whatever. That's the guy. That's the guy who fucking who basically said like April O'Neil isn't black or wasn't originally black. And I think something was said on Twitter that he mentioned that people were just like, see, she was originally written as black. And it's just like, no, you're just wrong. Like, his whole thing isn't like, he never says like, oh, you're racist for saying it. It's just like, no, you're just factually wrong. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how she was. And he's not saying, hey, what you're doing is the problem. He hates he calls it tokenization, right? Where you're making a original white character black just to make them black to tokenize them. Like, so I think he talked about the Little Mermaid, that the live action movie that's coming out or has been out, I don't know. And it's like he just talks about that shit where it's just like, it's not about black or white or racism or anything like that. It's just about, I don't know. It's just about like you're tokenizing people instead of showing or showcasing black people in a positive light. That's what he's kind of like, he showcases, because it's kind of like you don't need to make a white character black for him. You just make a white character white, leave him white, but create a new black awesome character. And that's what I ask for, like even when we talk about comic books, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with me. It's just like, because like, you know me, and I'm not live right now, so I'm good. But you know me. I have no problem with like the alphabet community. So is it kind of like, yo, what? You had something?